philosophy here on Cityline is that all eyes are beautiful eyes, but regardless of its shape, we are going to show you how to maximize it. Well, Jamie is. So thanks so much for showing us that. You've picked three lovely models from our audience today who have three different eye shapes.
Yes.
And you're going to maximize their eye shape just in your application.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so here we have Stephanie here, and Stephanie has beautiful deep-set eyes.
Yes.
So one tip with deep-set eyes is that the brow is usually already pronounced, so it's not really necessary to highlight the brows where a lot of people, might think to do that.
Right.
So, so the key is really to choose a shadow in the crease that is not too dark, not too light, just enough. But, if we're choosing a dark shade in the crease, the problem is going to make the eyes look a little deeper, and that's really what we don't want.
So you're not necessarily going for something dark in there that makes the eye look even, is it smaller?
Yeah, exactly. It'll make the eyes look smaller. So, using liner and just elongating the liner on top or underneath, lots of mascara is a great idea. And to really have a really nice defined brow is great. But because the crease here, is already deep, we don't want to really put a lot of dark shades on it, and have more of a neutral shade. But, whether it's pinks, browns, but something a little bit lighter, but not too dark, because just to keep in mind, it'll make the eyes look, smaller.
So that's what you've done in this case right here. If you can just close them one more time for me, honey. So you can see you've done this side.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So a nice neutral color, not too dark, and that's going to make her eyes look the best.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, yeah. All right, so let's move on now to our next model. We have Michelle. How would you describe Michelle's eyes?
So Michelle has a little bit of a hooded eye shape. So she has a strong brow bone here, a little bit hooded eyes. And one thing about hooded eyes is that you really want to give a nice lift to the eyes. And also because, I would say shades like, frosty, luminescent shades probably would not be the most ideal shades for someone with more of a hooded eye.
Got it.
So matte shades are great. And the key also is to have a really nice base, have a really light matte base, and then from there. But the key is actually with a hooded eye is that you have room to play with, because you can actually take the shadow right across the whole eye area. So if you can close, so you can carry the shadow right from the crease here over the eyelid, because what you want to do here is to create that dimension of a crease and to give more of a crease. So hooded eye shape means that the crease is not as visible. There's a good brow bone there, but you want to create that dimension to give more depth to the eyes.
So you're creating the crease there.
Yes.
Why do you say it's a good idea to have a good base underneath it? Is it just because it's going to move a little bit more if you've got a hooded eye?
Exactly. It could be that. Also, using like an eye primer is great. So when we talk about a base, it could be also with an eye primer, because I find a lot of women have their eyeshadow sometimes crease or the moisture underneath there with their eyes. So using a good eye primer, but also using a good base shadow too underneath to set the stage, and then and you can play with different colors. But the one important thing with more of a hooded eye shape, I would say, is to really accentuate the top lashes and the bottom lashes, right? So that you can do that in a nice, strong, or a thin liner, but a lot of mascara on the top and bottom, which is great.
Okay, so she can go crazy with some fake lashes there.
Definitely,
and really,
she can go all out with the fake lashes.
Really go out.
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at our last look here. So if you have eyes that we're describing as droopy eyes, but they're puppy dog eyes, so they go down.
Yes.
They go down. It's such a cute look. This is Angela, who has beautiful eyes here. How would you maximize her shape?
Yeah, so for the key with hooded eyes with downward eyes is you really want to create that lift. So here on the side here for Angela is that a liner, but giving a nice sort of flare up with the liner.
Yes.
And also, you can play with the shadow here, but another great tip is to highlight. So for a downward type of eye shape is to put a little bit, almost like a luminescent white or ivory shade right here at the tip, because it takes away the attention at the end and it sort of lifts the eye overall. And then having a really nice, filled out brow is, I'm a huge brow person, so I love filling out the brows because it sets the stage. But yeah, and then also for someone with more of a downward shape eye, like the puppy eyes type of thing, I would really avoid any eyeliner or mascara underneath, because the last thing you want to do is make the eye look heavy underneath, and gravity is not our friend, so you don't want that to happen. So really keeping it a nice strong liquid liner or an eye pencil on top, have a nice sort of wing to it, and shadow, and then you're set.
That is so cool. So basically what you're doing is, close just for a second, hon, you're like balancing out the two sides by putting some of the attention in there. I think that's such an easy way of doing it. Are those your lashes? No. Good! I was going to be so jealous! I'm like, give them to me. Okay, very good tips. As you know, all eyes are gorgeous eyes, but it's great when you can maximize their gorgeous shape.